Hey folks, my name's Adam with Auto, and I am back with Miss Piggy. I've got a few things I want to take care of that finally are on the list. I got seat material and I have a headliner coming, finally, and so I need to basically gut the interior and we're gonna do it. So let's get started. In order to prepare for this, I've got to get this front seat out and the cover off of it. And I'm going to take it to my upholstery guy. He's going to replace just the insert portion. And then I've got to take the back seat out as well. The back seat's in good shape, but I want to get to the package tray because it needs to be replaced. And then also I want to take care of this heavily smoked in headliner. And as collateral damage, we're going to replace the visors as well. So I've got to get all of the trim off around here, and the headliner is actually stapled in, and then it's put it's got the standard bows on the inside as well. So I've got my work cut out for me. I had a moment here where I didn't know if I was going to be able to make this work because the front seat switch has been kind of funky and I've never been able to get the seat to move up far enough to get to these bolts down here, but I farted around with the switch enough and it finally decided to move forward for the first time that I've ever seen. So it moved forward enough to get to it. So I'm gonna get that bolt and that bolt on each side. That side's done already. I'm gonna get these two and hopefully I can rock this thing out of here myself. If not, I'll go get my wifey. I think this seat's been out of here before. These were kind of loosely put in. There's little filler panels on each side, and then plus the that front kind of aluminum valance that on both sides is just kind of held in by, it's supposed to be held in by 3 screws, but it's only held in by 1. This side actually is held in by 3 screws. That's nice. And we'll have to tilt it forward like we normally do. Okay. Drop it. Heavy. Okay. I'm gonna kind of twist over there and throw it against the wall. Oh, God. Yummy. So the seat bottom just kind of lifts out of these little clippy areas, and then the seat bottom is supposed to be, that little piece of metal is supposed to be wrapped around this. That one is already kind of flipped up, but then on the corners there's these little metal straps you gotta bend back and slip the seat off this way, and then you can lift it off of the hooks on the back of on the back up here. And don't forget these little guys, those are hidden. Oh, God damn it. Very important not to push your finger through the top of the seat like I just did. Don't know what I'm gonna do about that. Can't just fix it. Maybe I can have my vinyl guy fix it. We'll see. If not, I'm screwed. Continuing to dissect this thing, I've got to get these off on both sides to get this package tray off. And there's an odd little hidden screw in here. There's just literally a hole in the vinyl. And if you don't know it's there, you're going to pull your hair out trying to figure out why it doesn't come off. And then also, this thing is nailed into a tack strip. You got to just kind of be careful to pull it out of those spots, and then search for the missing screw. Okay, come on. Somehow I found that one. All right, so that's out. I'm gonna get this off. And then basically all the halo trim around needs to come off as well for the headliner. So I'm not gonna stop until I get all of this trim off of here. But I also want to get this package tray out. This stuff is basically just lightly glued on all the way across. And so I'm just gonna make an attempt to pull it off without completely destroying everything. Which is going to be impossible, I think. I'm probably going to have to just make a new package tray. I've got the material, this funky mesh stuff, burlap, whatever you want to call it. But I don't have this little 1/4-inch pad. I might have to go to Joanne and get some. Bingo. So this is supposed to be all one piece here. This came out without the rest of it. But I think I can save this hardboard or door card stuff material and just replace this here. So my goal is to try to keep this intact because it's not busted up or anything like that. So, but obviously we have a little bit of a puncture wound here, so we can't just paint this and redo it because it's also in more than one piece now. So, or I'm just gonna overlay it and use this and leave it there. And I guess I'll paint because it comes in black. So I need to paint it some sort of color to match the interior. It's like a blue silver. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Slowly but surely. I have a screw gun for this. I don't know why I'm using a hand screw driver. These bows, these chrome bows, actually just, they're ornamentation. Kind of. I lied. I forgot about that. They have cardboard inserts in the actual headliner itself. So these actually have to be installed in the new headliner before it gets put up. Can't wait to do that. This will be my second cloth headliner ever. So we'll see how that goes. It took me way too much time to get all that trim off. The side trim was easy. These front corners are always a challenge because they're kind of a wedge fit. These sun visor brackets, you had to have a special tool, which I didn't have, so I just beat them out with a screwdriver. And so now I'm at the point where I've got to just basically rip the headliner down. There's little staples holding it in everywhere. I think I'm just gonna kind of pull at it, and then I'll remove the staples by hand after I get it pulled out. Let's see how many mice have made their home in this headliner in the last 60 years. Hopefully none. I haven't really seen any mouse evidence anywhere yet. The back seat was clean underneath. The front seat was pretty clean underneath. Inside the seats were good. There was no piling up of fluff like I normally expect. This is gonna look so much better when it's done. I get all this chrome can be cleaned up, and we want to do that since I bought the car. But I haven't had the heart to do it because I knew that this headliner was coming down. Anyway, less talk, more work. Oops, I don't care. Just rip it down. I'm not worried about tearing it because it's not going to be used as a template. It's already a pre-made headliner. My upholstery guy, Jerry, has procured one for me. I was going to have him install it, but I bailed and trying to save money, so I'm going to do it myself. But he's going to do the front seat fabric for me. No idea what he's going to charge. I don't really care. It's just the cost of making this right. No mice. I might be getting slightly carried away, but I also have the vinyl to recover the dash top. But this, the dash pad is, it's either gonna have to wait for me to find a good used one or buck up and pay all the money for a new one from Sweden. So while I'm in here, the speedometer doesn't work. And this is a pretty normal situation. So if you look inside the speedometer hole here, you see nothing except for maybe right there in the very bottom, there's the cable. What happens is that this speedometer has a tendency to gum up, and it won't spin at the speed that it needs to spin. And so the cable snaps off inside the housing down here. So I'm gonna have to remove the speedometer cluster and see if I can get that thing to get going again. Or I have a rebuilt cluster already. I don't really want to use it yet until I know which car I'm going to keep, which I haven't told you about yet. So save that for another day, but yeah. So much to do. And also, why not, while I'm here, ripping the interior apart, both rear doors, the windows don't work. And I don't know if it's a connection inside the door or if it's a master switch problem, but they don't work through the switches here or the master switch. And there's no, the lights don't dim at all when you hit the switches at all. So I'm thinking that there's a connection inside these doors that is bad. So both door panels are gonna have to come off, which is super exciting. So here's my dash material. It is the correct everything. It's exactly as factory. I'm also wondering that if I might have enough material to do the top of this here, since I put my finger through it earlier, and it's also got a rip You know, it's really, really weak. And there's a seam over here on the side and another seam over here, which is puts it at about 55 inches long. And if I angle it side to side like this, I get enough material. Problem is, I don't know if I have enough material for the dash pad and the seat. Big problem. So I think I may go ahead and just do the dash, and I'll see if my vinyl guy can fix the seat. It totally looks like a bomb went off in this place, but let's pay attention to this stuff here. So I took care of the package tray. It's a little sloppy. I went ahead and left it long, but it looks better than it did before. And I started to shampoo the carpet out. We had some really bad grease stains and stuff like that in here, and stuff's just not coming out. So what I'm doing is I'm just cheating and using some light coats of, you know, spray paint, spray dye, and just kind of rubbing it in. And I did it all on those 3 sections here. I've got to wait for this to dry here so I can do it, but you can see the color difference. Back here, that is the original color, so nothing is done to that. This is all original too as well. So I matched as close as I could. There's just no color on the spray paint rainbow that matches what was here. Over here, I have the back seat bottom. A couple days ago when I took this out, I put my finger through the top of the back seat cover, and I don't have enough material to do this little section here just up top. So I'm cheating right now until I can actually get a decent amount of this stuff, and I just kind of hosed it down with some silver paint to try to make it all one color, because it was pretty faded out back here and just kind of discolored. So that should look okay for now. On another note, over here I ended up pulling the front seat apart. I got the covers off because we finally have material for the front seat inserts. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this to the upholstery guy. He's gonna do the top of the dash cover with this, and then he's gonna do the cloth seat inserts on the front seat with the correct material. Magic. Headliner's here. Here's the old one. I'm pulling off all the bows, cleaning them, and then installing them on the new headliner so I can hang it. These chrome bows are actually, they slip into these cardboard rails, so they're stuck in there like that, so they have to be put on before the headliner goes in. And then I think there's 6 of the actual steel bows. I had to rip them out of here because this thing they're all surface rusted into the headliner. So I need to take like a Scotch-Brite pad and clean them all up and then basically wash them. And some people like to paint these things just to keep them from rusting, but that's not my MO. So it also helps keep these things easy to install. So I'm gonna go ahead and just keep doing that and get them all installed, and then I will come back around when it's time to install a headliner. Changed my mind. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I'm doing here exactly. So I've just been rolling the headliner out, you know, going from the back to the front to each bow, and I can't physically pull these things out. Well, sometimes I can, but they get caught up real easy, seeing as this is a trashed headliner anyway. I'm just gonna rip it out. Careful not to bend the bow when you're ripping. I'll just run this over with Scotch-Brite pad and clean it up a little bit, and I will insert it. Okay, so this is pretty clean here. I went ahead and I scrubbed the hell out of it with a gray Scotch-Brite pad and then cleaned it off with a microfiber towel, and then just doesn't matter which way you put it, it's only gonna go one way when you put it in the car. Oh yeah, super important to keep your hands clean, not like mine. Especially when you're dealing with a light headliner. light or white, whatever you want to call it. A lot of times you have to cut this back just a little bit so you can get a little bit of leeway with your bow. On the factory one that I took this off of, these bows were actually kind of stuck out right here. They just cut a few inches back and put it through a different part of the hole. But I will probably end up doing some more adjusting on this. Why is this not going? Once I get it in the car, because there's going to be some back and forth on centering on this thing, so I'll probably have to cut these back some more, which basically means I'll just have to, you know, reach up in there and cut sideways like that to allow a little bit more room. But that's basically it. I've got, I think I've got one more bow to put in, and then I'm ready to put it in the car. Okay, I'm gonna preface something and tell you that, okay, so you see 2 holes for each bow. Everyone says you need to mark which hole the bow is in. Well, that's not necessarily true, because it's only going to fit in one spot. So I'll go ahead and get one side put in, go to the other side, and if it fits in this hole best, then slip it there. If it fits in that hole best, put it there. Not too difficult. If you get to a point where you forget which is front and which is back, the end with the most pleats or bows that are closest together is the back, because that's where it falls down, and you need that much more forgiveness with the fabric. I got lucky and that other side hung up. I should probably just get in the car and do this rather than jumping from side to side. There are also slots. Probably can't see it, but there's a little slot up here where that bow wants to sit. It may cause problems for me. I'm gonna probably have to cut this. Down I go. Do that on the front. Show you what I'm talking about here a little bit closer. Well, here's that slot. I need to cut the sleeve back far enough to where it's above the slot, so that the headliner will move back and forth when I tighten it down and staple it to the tack strip. Yeah, this is a very rough end. My next move is to secure front and back for, you know, about halfway the distance to the end on each side. But what I want to do is mark my trim holes, you know, outside of the headliner, so I know where to poke my holes for the trim. All right, here we go. Okay, I have the front and the back secured for about 20 inches on each end. I took video of it, but I accidentally hit slow-mo instead of time-lapse, so it didn't happen. Anyway, now since I've got basically the center section stretched as far as I want it to be, I want to pull all the sides tight and fasten all the sides, and then I'll get the corners as I get to them. All right, hold the phone. I think what I'm gonna have to do is anchor these bows first, and then I can tighten the headliner, because I'm struggling trying to get these up where they need to be and then being able to tighten these at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw all the bows in, and then I will tighten the headliner. Okay, back to reality. I got the bows in and secured. I basically had to re-drill every one of these things because the bows are where they are no matter what. You know, this one was just a touch off this way, so I tried to put it in the same hole, but it ended up exposing some of that strip. So yeah, here we go. Okay, I never claimed to be an upholstery guy. I've got a couple of things I want to try to adjust a little bit, like these back corners here. They're not great yet, but it's as good as it's going to get for me. So I'm going to go ahead and make a few adjustments, and then I'm going to go ahead and trim this stuff out, and I am going to quit for the night because it is, I don't know, 7:30 or something. At least it looks a little bit better trimmed out. I can't get those wrinkles out back there. There's a little bit of, I don't know, I really need a little bit of tack strip right there, but there's just nothing there. And actually this headliner is supposed to be cloth, which would have been a lot easier for me to install because these wrinkles wouldn't be here. And it's vinyl. It appears like it's the correct pattern. I can't really get a good picture of it, but it's actually vinyl, so I'm just gonna have to live with it. So anyway, I'm gonna call it quits for the night. Stay tuned for hopefully the wrap up on Piggy interior stuff. My upholstery guy said it would probably be 2 to 3 weeks before I would get the front seat pattern material back so that I could get that recovered. So it may be after Christmas before I get this thing done. So anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe. To everybody know, I will see you on the next video.